Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's.
Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I am Sally Lemus. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. A power cut at CUC as the executive director is canned at the island's utility provider. Also tonight, government workers start taking off every other Monday as austerity measures begin. And 100 days into the new administration, what are the results so far? In sports, high school athletics, all the action and the results. Stay tuned. We have more up next.
What's the move? Kinda wild out. Cash groove. She said, where you going? What's the move? Kinda wild out. Cash groove. What's the move?
Mickey D's McCrispy. Formerly known as the Crispy Chicken Sandwich, now has some respect on his name. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Real talk. The Spicy Crispy Chicken Sandwich should have been named Spicy McCrispy from jump. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Half a day to the Wami and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Monday, April 24, 2023. Topping tonight's newscast, the acting utilities director was fired this morning by the CUC board. Dallas MPV was terminated today as the acting executive director for the Commonwealth Utilities Corporation. According to board chairwoman Janice Tenorio, PV exhibited dishonesty and a lack of candor when he first applied as deputy director for the electric power systems. PV began work in November of 2022. It's not clear what sort of background checks CUC did before bringing PV in. The utility executive did arrive with a checkered past. According to the Pensacola News Journal, PV falsified travel documents and was required to repay over $20,000 to Ortloff Engineers, one of his previous employers, and was charged with a felony for a private matter that happened in 2009 in Texas. This is him answering questions about it in a video posted to Facebook last year.
Yes, in 2009, I was living in Midland, Texas. I was traveling international as a businessman, of course. I came home one day unexpectedly, decided to go and pick my daughter up from school, my daughter was 10 years old at the time. As I pulled up onto the school, there was a group of Hispanics that were trying to grab not only my daughter, who was 10 years old, but her friend that they were walking home from school. I got out of my truck and went with an axe handle and started beating on them to get my daughters away from them, my daughter and her friend. I put my daughter in the car, her friend in the car, and then we trailed those gentlemen back to their house. They were all living in one house together. I pulled up into the yard, I had called the police, but then I got out of my truck to make sure they weren't going to do that anymore, and I started beating both them, and I destroyed a lot of the furniture and windows in their house. I was eventually arrested, but I turned myself in because I knew it was going to happen. It cost me restitution, I think about $22,000, but I would do it again because that's my family and that's my daughter. I didn't spend any time in jail. while traveling. At one point, I think I had overstayed my time being gone internationally because the state allowed me to continue to work and travel. And I think I had a parole violation that was eventually released. And then I was released early because I had paid the restitution and the case was done away with.
And how long ago was this?
2009, I believe it was.
I see. And then over in Texas, what is the charge that was brought against you for that?
It was...
it was a theft charge?
Yes, it was a felony theft because in Texas, when you destroy somebody's property, that's stealing or taking it from them. And so, of course, I pled guilty because I did destroy both their car and their house.
Okay, well, thank you for clearing that up for us.
You're quite welcome, miss. Thank you.
Peavy was fired from his last job in August of 2022 after the utility board he was working for announced it was investigating him after residents raised alarms about his background. Tenorio informed Governor Palacios and Lieutenant Governor Apatang of the termination this morning. Tenorio says she immediately took action with the backing of the Attorney General's office in order to protect the organization. KSPN reached out to Tenorio to elaborate more on the details, but has not received comment as of press time. One veteran CUC employee called him an effective leader and said he was hired to develop the solar farm in Marpi. We have attempted to reach out to Mr. Peavy for comment. Peavy was escorted out of the utility this morning. This is a continuing story, and we will bring you more as information becomes available. Crichton Vork is now the acting executive director for CUC. Austerity measures for the NMI government are officially in place.
Today is the first austerity day. It's something that, you know, I do not really like to do, or we don't really like to do, but it is the only thing that we can do.
The 72 work-hour schedule for government offices under the executive branch begins today. Austerity Mondays, which will occur every other Monday, applies to the entire executive branch, as well as the governor, lieutenant governor, and members of the cabinet.
It's a very painful thing for me to do, for us to impose on our community, especially on our employees. But that is what is necessary to keep critical government services provided.
Austerity Mondays do not apply to the legislative and judicial branch, along with autonomous agencies such as the hospital, schools, CUC, and CPA. It also does not affect law enforcement agencies, including the BMV and its administrative offices. On Wednesday, the legislature passed a revised budget for the remaining fiscal year, which reflects the actual ARPA expenditures and local revenue collection. The reduction in work hours was part of several cost-cutting measures the administration implemented due to the NMI's financial state. The governor is expected to sign the budget into law tomorrow morning. The Palacios-Apatang administration has reached 100 days in office. The two heads of state were asked this morning during a press conference to grade themselves based on their performance. Lieutenant Governor Apatang immediately responded with A+. And though it's not mandatory, it is tradition to tell us what has happened so far. According to Governor Arnold Palacios, the goal from the start was to create a path towards economic recovery, despite the financial crisis the Commonwealth is currently facing. And during the first 100 days in office, the governor and lieutenant governor made some tough decisions to do just that.
You know, these 100 days has been very challenging, and in some cases very humbling, so to speak. But at the end of the day, we had to make some very critical, albeit sometimes controversial and unpopular decisions. But in order for us to continue the critical public services to our community, I believe that those decisions had to be made.
Some of those decisions included letting go of over 500 employees who were fully funded by ARPA and implementing several cost-cutting measures to the executive branch. But with a new budget, the governor is hopeful to move forward.
Now it's time to move beyond the cost-cutting measures and put together, come up with the plans and implement the plans to generate revenue and recover this economy.
The administration is also strengthening its relationship with regional and federal partners. When they decided to pivot away from the China market, the administration immediately reached out to the Department of Defense and other allies in the region. Just recently, the governor, along with MVA officials, met with key stakeholders in Japan in hopes to revive the tourism market. The administration is currently developing a military tourism market and is also keeping an eye on the buildup happening on Tinian. According to Lieutenant Governor David Apatang, building a strong relationship with local partners is important as well.
Unlike the previous administration where there was a contentious relationship with the Sinmai legislature, our administration focused on working together, even to some differences, to help address the Sinmai challenges.
When asked what is their biggest accomplishment so far,
Keeping the lights on, keeping the people employed, keeping the critical services like the hospital, public safety, schools continue unimpeded, despite the fiscal disasters that we walked into. So that in itself, and I wish I can tell you that we just built a huge, brand spanking new power plant or brand spanking new hospital that we should have. But that in itself is an accomplishment in the last 100 days. And we look forward to accomplishing more with economic recovery and putting together a plan and keeping our people safe and moving forward with their economic recovery.
stay with KSPN as we bring you more on the 100-day report of the Palacios Apatang administration. The new police chief was sworn into office on Friday. Part of his commitment to the administration is to restore the integrity of public safety. That includes more trainings for police officers. A viral video on social media captured footage of a canine dog sniffing around a car for drugs and the arrest of a policeman in civilian clothing. But that is a training exercise for the Department of Public Safety. According to spokesperson Fred Sato, police officers underwent a 2-day training which focused on canine operations and tactical medicine. The in-service training for canine was to ensure that the handlers and dogs stay prepared for actual incidents should they be needed. Sato says officers from the Rapid Response Team and the Criminal Investigation Bureau participated in the trainings. During the tactical medical training, the policemen and women rehearsed what to do if a fellow officer is injured at the scene. The training included providing immediate aid to the officer and coming up with a safe but quick exit plan. Sato says these trainings fall in line with the commissioner's vision of making sure the department remains sharp with police tactics and evolving trends in criminal activity. Coming up, the Red Cross walkathon, and they start their lives with a walk and then swim for years and years. Our resident green tea turtles get a special welcome in the classroom.
premium office space available now at the Hermosa Vista Business Park on Capitol Hill. Upgrade your work-life balance and enjoy a distinctive blend of location and nature with open spaces and ocean views. It's the perfect place for creative professionals who want real results. Call us at 670-483-4750 or email hvsaipan@gmail.com.
It's okay to take a friend or parent's medication. It came from a doctor, right?
Using someone's prescription is really risky. Taking any drugs for which you have not been medically screened is not only dangerous, but taking an opioid that was not prescribed for you is also illegal. Never borrow and never share prescribed medication. Your life and your loved one's life could depend on it. Talk to your doctor about prescribed opioids. Never mix with alcohol, and remember, never borrow, never share. It only takes a little to lose a lot.
This project was supported by a grant from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation. Contents are solely the responsibility of CHCC and do not necessarily represent the official views of the CDC or the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. The American Red Cross held its annual walkathon after 3 long years. Hundreds came out to support the cause over the weekend.
We are at the 34th annual American Red Cross Walkathon. This is a very important fundraising event and activity for our families and our students here in the CNMI to raise resources and to have a really great morning of fun here in Saipan. And Rhoda and Antinian. The last walkathon we had was in 2019. We had started all of our planning for 2020, and then of course the pandemic hit. And we didn't really want to put people at risk, so of course we didn't have a walkathon in 2020, 21, 22, and now we're finally having one in 2023. Got a really exciting morning. We're full of all kinds of activities. Not only do we have a big turnout from our schools and adult walkers, but we have a huge community fair this year with all kinds of our partners and collaborators who are basically, you know, letting the community know the kinds of services and activities that they're doing so that we can continue to pull together as a community.
To help the lives out there. I guess that's all.
To give back to our community.
Because it's good for people. We're helping people out there. And we just want to give to the community and help anybody that needs help. We're here to support and give money for them to supply. And yeah, just want to help good people.
Because it helps people.
Yeah, it helps people and it's like for the good.
And we want to support it.
The Red Cross is, while we might not have a typhoon coming, in the next week or two, our job is really to get our community prepared and be ready. We are in a disaster-prone area with earthquakes and typhoons and flooding and storms, and everyone in our community needs to understand those risks and to prepare.
It's nesting season for our green sea turtles, and this week some students learned the ins, outs, and whereabouts of one of our favorite reptiles.
We love turtles and we're trying to do our best to help them.
Local kids are learning about some unique residents that are born on the land but then primarily live in the sea, staying underwater for up to 2 hours at a time. Sea turtles need a lot of energy to do all that swimming, and they can munch on up to 16,000 calories a day.
They get their name green sea turtle not because of the color of the shell, but because since it has such a rich diet of seagrass and algae and seaweed, it turns its body fat green.
Christine Tudela does turtle outreach to local schools. She says the green sea turtles are the most abundant in our local waters. We also have hawksbill turtles, but we don't see them nest here like the green ones. Both species are protected under federal and local law.
A lot of the turtles here are actually collected or illegally harvested for food source, right? Before, way back, they used to be hunted for special events like fiestas, birthdays, weddings. And the hawksbill turtles especially were hunted for their shells. These were used to make different types of jewelry.
The outreach coordinator brought both a hawksbill and green sea turtle into the classroom today with her and showed the kids how to identify the different types of turtles in our waters and throughout the world.
Right now, I'm trying to hit as many of the schools as I can. Aside from that, I do also want to do as much community events so that I not only reach the students, but even everyone else in the community.
For these fourth graders who attend GTC Elementary School in San Roque, it was hands-on with some unique takeaways.
To not throw trash in the ocean and to not drive on the beach.
What's something we can do to help protect the turtles?
Do not take it home. Do not take it home and feed it.
Today I learned that there's only 7 more species and how people are really helping them and trying their best.
What are some things we can do here in the CNMI to help protect them?
We can make sure that we should check the areas that they're in and make sure it's not polluted, take out the trash there.
How they are like endangered species and like have like special diets. Don't give them any food, don't bring them home and keep them.
I learned that turtles need more protection.
What did you learn today about the turtles?
To not harass them or feed them.
Sea turtles can live up to 70 years. It takes about 20 to 30 years for a turtle to reach maturity. CNY has a sea turtle hotline. The number to report a stranded turtle, 287-8537. Chris Nelson for the Channel 2 News.
Thank you, Chris. All right, folks, don't go anywhere. We have sports up next.
Need a new phone? Trade in now and get up to $500 off our best 5G devices. Trade in your older phone in any condition and step up to better savings and speeds only our 5G network can provide. Check out our website and catch up on the best mobile experience. Trade in now. Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Premium office space available now at the Hermosa Vista Business Park on Capitol Hill. Upgrade your work-life balance and enjoy a distinctive blend of location and nature with open spaces and ocean views. It's the perfect place for creative professionals who want real results. Call us at 670-483-4750 or email hvsaipan@gmail.com. Hey, golfers, come north and practice your game at the Marianas Driving Range. New Year's local specials. 10-piece coupon books available for just $60. That's a $10 savings. Want to get really good? Come work on your swing every day for just $99 per month. It's our practice pass and you're going to love it. Grab your passes and go straight to the range. You can social distance and chip all at the same time, and the views are free. Reserve now at marianastrekking.com. You can pay online, open 7 days a week.
Buenas sports fans.
Middle and high school runners met at the Olei track and field on Saturday morning to figure out who is going to the championships. The first event to kick off Saturday's PSS NMA Old School Athletics final qualifying was the 3,000-meter distance. Here are the results. In the boys 14 and under division, Rafi Kai of Agape Christian School finished first with a time of 11 minutes and 20.29 seconds. Second place is another student from Agape Christian. Daniel Song crossed the finish line in 12 minutes and 4.4 seconds. Landon Taflinger of Dandan Middle School took the third place with a time of 12 minutes and 21.08 seconds. In the girls 14 and under, Adelie Taflinger topped her division by crossing the finish line in 13 minutes and 36.35 seconds. Barbara Wang of Agape Christian took the second place. Her time is 13 minutes and 59.20 seconds. And third place is Faith Ariola of Saipan International School. Her time was 15 minutes and 20.57 seconds. In the boys 18 and under division, Samuel Zhu of Agape Christian took the first place. His time is 11 minutes and 25.71 seconds. Takero Jim of Grace Christian took the second spot with a time of 11 minutes and 51.64 seconds. And third place is Jake Moncada from Tinian Junior/Senior High School. His time is 12 minutes and 23.81 seconds. In the girls 18 and under division, Eunice Su of Agape Christian topped her division by finishing the race in 12 minutes and 43.50 seconds. Second place is Tiana Cabrera of Saipan International with a time of 12 minutes and 56.26 seconds. And third place, Emma Pang of Agape. Her time, 14 minutes and 10.60 seconds.
Hi, I'm Dre, one of the personal trainers here at Goats Gym, and today we're going to go over the kettlebell deadlift. Fantastic exercise to build overall strength, particularly in the legs and hips. Remember, we want to make sure that our setup is in good position. If you set up in a bad position, it's not gonna look good and it's certainly not gonna feel good. So a common error setup is obviously a rounded upper back. 2 simple ways of correcting that. All I'm gonna have Vince do here is extend his arms up here, and all he's gonna do is think about reaching long and pushing his hips back. Reach long and push your hips back. So as you can see, he's already in good position. Now all he's gonna do is grab that kettlebell. He's got tension in his legs and in his back. All he's gonna do is just stand up tall, finish with his glutes.
And for your KSPN weather report, tonight, partly cloudy with isolated showers, east wind around 16 miles per hour and gusts up to 21 miles per hour, high 85, low 76, humidity is at 79%. Tomorrow, partly sunny with scattered showers, east wind 16 to 18 miles per hour and gusts as high as 23 miles per hour, high 85, low 76, your marine forecast. East wind 15 knots, wind waves 3 feet, east swell 5 feet. Tonight through Wednesday, east wind 15 to 20 knots, wind waves 3 to 4 feet, east swell 5 to 6 feet. Scattered showers on Tuesday. Sunrise will be at 5 to 7 a.m., high tide 9:14 a.m., low tide 4:49 p.m., and the sunset 6:33 p.m. And there you have it, Marianas. That is your Monday edition of the news, sports, and weather. As always, we thank you so much for watching the Channel 2 News. We hope you have a great night, and we'll see you back here on Wednesday, definitely with more.